And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Star Ladder Invitational, live from Kiev. My name is Blue. Joining me here is going to be Tom, and we're about to jump into our second match now between FlipSid and GODSENT, with GODSENT dominating the playing field coming off our first map over on Cobble, heading over here to Inferno. Things could look a little bit rough for FlipSid to start off their tournament life here.
Wow, yeah, I actually got a tweet just afterwards because I said it was 4-0 while they were GODSENT, but a guy called CSGO Person, which lovely name to start things off, told me that over their whole time as this lineup, they are 10-1 on Inferno. The one was against Hellraisers, who, well, pretty good opposition to lose that map to, the team that can just go ham on occasions. And
I mean, look at these stats, because it seems like there's a lot of GODSENT jerseys there.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of FlipSid jerseys.
Well,
just
Markelov,
a lonely little Markelov.
He's just like clawing on for dear life with Twist slowly catching up with him. And, well, even when you look at his KD, it's like 0.94, so it's not great. And, well, you can see, well, that wasn't really a fair comparison. I feel like Shara, in terms of Cobblestone, had a pretty poor game, to be honest. And, yeah, there's AWP kills in general. I think did Schneider even pick up the AWP? I don't think we really saw the AWP from them, because they picked out once. I think it was actually Twist who picked it up first or initially for the T side, and then after that they just stopped buying it. They realized there's no point, we're just going to go for fast plays, we'll just dominate in that style. So yeah, well, that one's a little bit worse. Map best players, yeah, I can't see any FlipSid players in sight on that one, and that does not surprise me at all.
So this one going by the kill death ratio, of course. So the guys on GODSENT basically dominate the playing field with that. And I mean, even if you look back on the other one there, well, all right, that's just calling them out on it.
Oh god, yeah, this one's a little bit more harsh. More interesting on the previous one as well. You could see that the most entry kills was actually on Pronax, with 5 entry kills into the map, which is the first kill of the round, not actual entry kills as such. But it's still interesting to see the in-game leader making a lot of the initial plays.
That was interesting to note that too, and it was incredibly potent at just doing it. It wasn't like, oh crap, our entry fragger's gone down, so now I have to do it. It was like he took on that role entirely, especially when it came to those platform pushes. And there was a couple rounds where he had to do it out towards long A as well, so he did a fantastic job of that.
Well, this is the stat for me anyway. Headshots, 25 kills, 17 headshots. Lekro was literally popping heads that game. Absolutely ridiculous. Like one of the rounds, I think it was on Platts, he had 9 HP and just took off like 3-4 players, just barely even trying. We are now going into the 9th round, of course. In this map, it's a little more one-sided. You do want to be on that CT side to start. And, well, I feel like FlipSid need to be on that CT side to start, because if they get off to a bad start again, which may just be the possibility after 4 players survive the 9th round, but if they do get off to that start again, this could go way out of proportion.
Unfortunately for them, GODSENT is going to win the 9th round.
Yeah, 9th round master. Well, no, actually, did they even? No, they didn't even win the last one. But just FlipSid decided to choose CT and got dominated anyway.
So now with that said, GODSENT, they're going to be able to start off CT here. And, I mean, that was one of the good things, too, that we didn't really get to cover too much, was just the great communication and the great speed of rotations we saw. Like, it was a very short CT half, but we saw those guys moving very quickly, and Pronax was getting these reads on what was a somewhat basics type of strat play that was coming out from FlipSid. And, unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot of innovation. Keep in mind, again, we only saw a very small amount of T-sided rounds throughout that entire last map. From what we saw, Pronax was doing a fantastic job of getting the reads on that, and that's often the issue for CT side, specifically on this map, is that they can't get the read on the play quickly enough, and then when like these all intakes happen on the B-bomb site, if the initial defenders don't like trade at least 1 or 2 players down, then it's not even worth sending the 8 players over there to go in for the rotate and try the retake. They normally just fall back and save. That happens so often, especially in North American games, but considering how well they were able to get the read on the plays back over on the last map, I would imagine things would be a lot smoother here for GODSENT, starting off on the CT side.
Well, this also is, when you talk about Pronax, he sort of created his like legacy of CS at Fnatic, and this was their map. This was a map that they sort of built themselves on. They're still brilliant at it now. It's sort of a shame for them in a way that it is going out of the map pool, but nevertheless, I feel like out of all the maps that could have come up, this is possibly the worst one for FlipSid. I'm not really sure how they got them. Maybe they were choosing towards their strengths or their weaknesses rather than GODSENT's strengths. But in this scenario, I'm not sure if Blade has got this one right. You never know. He may prove me wrong. In a way, I hope he does, and then we can go on to train and see how things go. But they're going to have an uphill battle, and they're starting on their T side.
And we'll get right into it, guys. The game is live. So the second map, for those of you that are just joining us now, between GODSENT and FlipSid. GODSENT took the last one 16-3. But now we're going to see if they can repeat this performance and move themselves right onto the next stage, where they face off either against Dobrin Gaming or Navi. Or, well, we have to go to a map number 3 to decide things if FlipSid does have a massive turnaround.
Well, Na'Vi have taken the first map. For anybody who is wondering, that was on Overpass. That was their pick. They're going on to Mirage. But in the meantime, we're going to see 2 quick kills coming out from World Edit. The aggression not paying off for the CT side. They do still have 2 players push down Banana. We've seen some great pistol play from them in the past. Twist, however, missing the shot. And Shara already getting off to a start. And someone we definitely need to see step up in this game is Waylander. He was so absent in the last. Pronax and Schneider, they're going to be the last 2 remaining. And this is going to be a very, very difficult task, especially... Oh, I was about to say with Pronax dying, but World Edit is removed from the map just by a complete misspray of his pistol, and it will now be down to a 2 versus 4.
Unfortunately, though, despite the fact that they do pick up that kill, probably still not going to see the guys on GODSENT be able to do anything about this with the 2-on-4.
No.
Locked out of the site, no utility to find a way back in. Schneider does have a kit, and they both have armor, but especially with Pronax being brought down to 13 HP because of that last duel, they're just going to have to sit back, and they will have to see the pistol round to the side of FlipSid.
Yeah, and it's actually something you don't see very often where teams actually just say, do you know what, we can just keep this Kevlar into the next round on the pistol round. It's not a huge save for them, but it's something nonetheless, especially with the kit picked up onto Schneider. So I would say that in terms of the round, yeah, they've let it go. Yeah, well, that it could have killed one more of those players, but nevertheless, GODSENT already starting off in sort of a clever way. Like, they're trying to bring themselves back. So hopefully, the flip side have got that sort of little bit of extra momentum. That was a little bit of a punish coming in from World Edit there with the push coming straight down mid. It was a very interesting play. It was sort of something you'd expect from a Pronax team, just trying to take the aggression straight to the opposition. But here we go. They're going to force up. We're going to see Pronax actually going with the mag because he does have that armor to back it up. Obviously, it does mean those SMGs can one-tap him out of the round, but to be honest, there's 4 rifles in play at the moment for the T-side, so they really are opting to go for everything here, and they're just going to try and hold back in this scenario, just play those long-range duels, and I think that's probably the smart thing to do.
Pronax probably going to go for the peak at the bottom of T-steps here in just a moment, but they're waiting for him. They expect that to roll back outside of here. And it'll be Markelov that has to take the duel initially, but at something that long range, it should be an easy one for Markelov to win, especially if Pronax does full peak this. But it looks like he's just testing the waters for the time being. Not going to be pushing out just as of yet. And the guys from FlipSid will play this back very, very cautiously. Not going to take any risks here in the second round, being caught out by aggressive positioning from GODSENT.
Yeah, Lecro also already having to fall back as he's been tagged down to 52 HP, so they have made a little bit of early aggression over towards Banana, but again, they are just holding back, trying to make sure that, well, not only did the T's not get an easy way into the round, but that they can try and actually get them in a choke point, which is, of course, that Banana position, which may actually be one of the places that is likely to be changed when the map does eventually come back into the pool.
So Shara bullying back now to pick up the bomb, and so that FlipSid can actually make their hit over here towards the site. But also having Schneider up on top, just outside of that window room there too, might draw the attention of some of these B-side players with them pushing over here towards the mid-choke point, but they're actually scared off pretty quickly by Schneider holding that close position, and that should allow for Twist and some of the other guys to maybe rotate closer to the B-bomb site now.
Well, they've got to go for it now. The time really is starting to tick away. They've only got 15 seconds left on the clock. All 4 players going to be going towards B. Lecro finding a second. Going to find himself a third as well. Done so much in this round already. And now, well, the bomb, it's got only a matter of seconds to go down. There's still 2 players over towards the site. They've got to go for the plant. They are going to just hold this one down, and there's nothing they can do. And that is an atrocious round coming up from the T side. 4 rifles brought up, 3 AKs over to that CT side. And that's such an economy boost for GODSENT already.
All is for free. So big boost on the side of the CTs, and now for FlipSid, they're going to be reset. And the question is, aggressive response, or do we respect this and now start to build up our economy from ground zero?
Of course, it's going to be aggressive.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean...
Oh, no, World Edit actually saving. But
yeah, but World Edit sort of needs to save. World Edit really doesn't have a choice. He wants the op, so...
Then again, look, for me anyway, on the T side of Inferno, I'm not actually a huge fan of the AWP, so I'm a little bit interested to see whether or not it's worth going for, if he can make some sort of impact into this round, but nevertheless, it is going to be Shara finding the entry kill. Lecro quickly finds one back, so not doing too badly so far into the round. Pronax currently playing over towards the B side, just playing relatively passively. 2 players currently gathering up over towards A, and well, it does look like they are trying to go for these close range. Of course, Waylander, again, someone we've mentioned before, he needs to step up in this game, needs to go big if they're going to have any chance of taking Inferno, but I just feel like that straight-up reset is going to be so painful if they don't manage to do something in this round. Of course, as said, World Edit has got a little bit of cash to spare, so they may be able to go for something with the AWP in the next round, but at the moment it just looks like they're playing nice and slow. The Ts are going to be building up, and the CTs, they're just playing nice and passive, using their utility to just keep them in this round.
Yep, now they have the gun advantage. There's no reason to go aggressive whatsoever, and they didn't even really have to do it in the last round because of FlipSid running the timer down so low. They were just able to wait that out, and there's some good deagle work coming out there. They were able to shut it down pretty quickly as soon as they found about 3 kills there with that one. Now FlipSid, though, going for a very, very slow lurk inside of the A-bomb site. This could diverge itself closer through arches and head its way to B, but it definitely looks like it's going to be a much more direct sort of play, and it works out great at the beginning. World Edit finding that first kill on Electro. Schneider now trying to bounce it back, finds 2 kills of his own, but then Markelov moves in, does trade him out into a 2-on-2, and also 1 AK going to be recovered here by Markelov.
Yeah, they actually, well, the reason they got one of those kills initially was because World Edit managed to pick up that AK from the first initial frag, but at the moment, again, the time's just ticking away. It's going to have to be the plant coming in now. It looks like Markelov will actually get this one down, so they're going to have actually a reasonable amount of money coming into the next round. They've done decent damage no matter what. However, Markelov in the clutch, something that I do enjoy seeing. I wonder what he can actually do here. Nothing in this case. Palf manages to finish him off, and that is going to be the second round on the board, but actually a lot closer than I expected it would be.
So GODSENT, they managed to maintain themselves. They'll win that second round. That'll force some respect out of the side of FlipSid. Unfortunately, their money is not... actually, they could justify a force when you look at World Edit, but I think most of them are still a little bit low. So we're looking at another save round before we really... No, I'm wrong again. Markelov just goes right in on it. I think they were postulating it because he did look, there was like 5,900 sitting on World Edit, and the other guys were in good positions to go for force-ups with Galils, so I think they decided to go for it here now. They want to try to keep this as close as possible, so they're now going to force things up in this round instead of just waiting. I think that specifically comes into play because they brought GODSENT down to 2 players.
Well, that's the caster's curse, isn't it? You say something and the teams instantly try and make you look stupid by doing the complete opposite. But nevertheless, it is going to be the buy, as you said, to try and keep that economy, well, at least low for GODSENT. They've got to try and win this round, though, and that's a decent start. Pronex going a little bit over-aggressive, a little bit too overzealous there, and he gets taken down early on. And this is the entry that the T's needed. They just need to now possibly fall back, allow either one player to rotate away over towards the A site, or just wait, and in a way they could even go over towards A themselves. Of course, so far Schneider has been doing relatively well over towards A. In fact, this time he's over towards B, so they've actually switched things up. Lekro only on a mag as well, so their money isn't perfect, to say the least, but Waylander, Tech9, one of the only players now without a rifle, or at least a mag 7, and he's going to have to try and get close and personal with a couple of these players.
Waylander looking for a way outside of Boiler, but he's going to have some team support coming back in through that mid-choke as well. GODSENT really not trying to go for the defense back over there by the choke point whatsoever, really focusing up on the bomb site itself. Same thing back over towards long. They really haven't tried to get aggressive, so they're now calling for some assistance from Palf. And in a moment, they're also going to be having Schneider rotate in too. But here comes the first peek out by Palf. They're not expecting anybody to come out from library whatsoever, so he's caught completely off guard by that one. But Palf, maybe a little bit over-aggressive, now dropped to 4 HP, and that nade is going to roll right in there and take him down.
Yeah, man advantage now, although that quickly fades away with a Schneider double picking up 2, and now it's just going to be down to 1 player sat in the pit area to try and find something of this round. We're going to see him drop Lekro with the mag, finding the kill, and well, World Edit, a bit of a wild spray, doesn't manage to find anything. 2 players surviving again for GODSENT, and we're actually seeing a pause being called out. I'm guessing that's technical rather than tactical, and yeah, as you can see, a few problems, but now it looks like the economy has settled a little bit, even a possibility for an AWP on that CT side, and well, surely FlipSid are actually going to have to go for a bit of an eco here to get on their full buy.
Someone's mouse probably glitched out or something here. GODSENT just need a few moments to fix that issue, and then we'll get right back into the match, of course. But again, not the best start. I will note, though, that like this isn't like as one-sided of rounds as we were seeing back over on Cobblestone. The good news is that FlipSid are actually doing a pretty good job of trading out these kills, making these rounds close, bringing them down to clutch situations. Just in those clutch situations, we're not really seeing any all-stars come out on top here for FlipSid as of yet, and that is becoming the ultimate issue. And it was sort of a problem in the last map, too, but it was just most of the rounds were just so one-sided. We never really had that problem surface. Now it's becoming another one where, all right, FlipSid, they can actually joust with these guys on the sites a little bit. It's just that when it comes down to a 1v2 and whatnot, there's no one clutching things out at the moment.
Well, also, it's a little bit problematic because World Edit, in most cases, actually putting them into a decent position in these rounds, and then everything just seems to fall apart. Like, he gets them a kill, like he picked up that AK1 round, found an entry instantly, and then Schneider just comes and trades 2 straight back, or something just ridiculous as that. In that round, he found an AWP kill, and yeah, that was the double kill from Schneider. It seems like they do get these positions where they are up, but they're just not able to capitalize, and the CTs managed to win out these positions where they probably shouldn't, and I feel like that could just be down to the fact that at the moment, GODSENT just have a star in pretty much every position.
So, still waiting on things to get fixed. Unfortunately, all these pauses like this happen like really early on in the match. I hate when these happen because like now it's like, all right, we only had 4 rounds played. We can talk about everything we want to, but not a whole lot has gone on in the match as of yet. So we're very limited on things to talk about. But one thing we can bring up is just how aggressively we've seen FlipSid go for their buys here. I mean, after they lose that second one, I would have expected that they actually would have respected that a bit and gone for the saves if they think they really get a full buy going. But in that last round, no, they just go all in on the buy there, going for the 2 Galils and the op and whatnot, and it's to no effect. So now that's really like put them in a pretty bad position here, and that right after we see them go for a buy such as that, they're left with nothing. Once again, just a really uneven amount of cash. Definitely not going to be able to justify anything here, and this is giving GODSENT quite a few free rounds. I think this was a problem earlier, too, for another one of the teams. I think we saw Virtus Pro having problems stabilizing their own CT side economy back when they were playing against Simple's team in their last match earlier, and that caused quite a few rounds once again to go into the control of the opponent's side because of the fact they really just couldn't stabilize their buys or they were buying too aggressively.
Yeah, it does. Well, that's sort of Virtus Pro in general. Sometimes they just think they can win around with absolutely nothing. Like we saw Pasha. Well, he did do some nice work actually with the mag quite often when he picked it up, but it's still just a little bit aggressive anyway. But yeah, back to us now. We're going to be on stream for a little bit. I think we're just still sorting out the problems. Obviously, only 4 people now in the game, so we have actually seen the loss of Twist.
I've shedded my jacket since we were last on camera.
Well, I shedded mine earlier and just didn't bring it up because I didn't think
it's fairly humid in here.
Yeah, it's actually really, really. I think it might be the giant light,
the giant fluorescent light bulbs.
Giant light, which you guys can't see, but that's why we look so shiny. That's why my head looks even more shiny than normal, and the hairline looks even worse. But nevertheless. Back to the game and not talking about my hairline.
The good news is you bring attention to it yourself. You're not like...
It doesn't bother me. At this point, it doesn't bother me. 21 and boarding. That should be the name of my book. When I make it, that'll be the name of my book. And then yours can be like, is it because I'm blue or something like that? Like, a nice, like, cheesy little line or... Yeah. I don't know.
Dabba-dee-dabba-die.
Yeah, I was going to go with that, but I thought it's just
I
too
get the
bad.
tweet like once every other day at least.
Yeah, I was about to say, why the name blue? I've got to ask. I actually don't know.
It's a very boring story. I'm going to be honest with you. I think
I
was
like the color blue. Is it?
No, it's not even my favorite color. That's the funniest part. My favorite color is red.
Okay.
So, like I said, really boring story. I think I was like 14, and I used to play like a lot of MMOs back in the day, and I played this new one, and I wanted to change my name because the name I had before this one was really dumb. And I was like, growing up, I was getting edgier. So I typed blue into the name thing, and I was like, you know, it'd be really cool if I take the E off this name.
I'm tempted to get out and leave.
That was it.
Then again, that's how it was born. Mine's not much better because it's literally just a combination of my first and last name with the age I was at the time. But because I wanted to be edgy, I changed the S's to Z's. We can see it right. Look right there. See, look it's that bad.
So what's your actual last name?
We can see it. It's right there.
Is this Biz? Like
no,
S?
Bismaya. Like it's just underneath.
Oh, okay. I thought you said change the S to Z's, and I was like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's nice and edgy. That's how we do it.
There you go. Did you make it when you were 14 as well? Because that's where the 14 comes from. That's when I got my name. I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, and then my Twitch is actually 13 because I forgot the password to 14.
Damn it.
So, not just plugging myself by saying this story, guys.
I have Blue 42 because it's not possible to have a 3-letter Twitch name.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. So that ruins it for like really short, like Pimp. You can't do that.
You can do 4 letters. You can
do 4, you can't do 3.
You can do 3.
Is there anyone with 3? I can't think of anyone who has
There are.
You
just need to be really special. You need to be a special snowflake. Anyway, enough of that.
Enough of our Twitch names and our Twitters. #sellout. But no, we're going to be going back into the game. It is just going to be a slight pistol buy coming in from the T side. Nothing too much in this round. Just going to try and find a couple of kills, do a little bit of extra damage, because they have actually dropped it down to 2 players on the CT side every single time.
With that said here, for GODSENT, because you're not really looking so stable, we still have the shotgun buy coming in. And, I mean, just look at their money across the board really for GODSENT. I think the most someone has is 1750 sitting on Palf. So just one single round being won by the side of FlipSid is going to allow them to take control of the economy here and probably force GODSENT onto an eco unless they really want to try to stretch it and force up. But things will start off well with Twist. He goes for the aggressive push, or the aggressive peek, I should say, back over by the mid choke point. Takes down Shara. Going to fall back after that, but some good damage has been traded back into the favor of FlipSid, bringing both Twist and Palf down very, very low.
Well, the thing that's most surprising actually about that economy is you have to remember in the second round they got given 3 AKs. So they got given a lot of economy. Like someone just basically just went money, 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 threw them a little bit of cash, and they went, okay, well, we're still going to lose a lot of players. But nevertheless, in this round, they are doing things nice and cleanly so far. And Schneider, well, he is just putting down the gauntlet. Nevertheless, well dead, it's still going to find another kill. Going to be looking to add to his collection a little bit more. I think that's his 7th kill of the game so far. He is actually doing some decent work on this T side, keeping the CT economy in check. But nevertheless, well, I know plenty of teams, as long as they keep 2 players alive, it doesn't matter. They're just going to run out the game, just drag things out the long way.
And that seems to be the case right now, but that one, of course, being a lot cleaner, so almost an instant restoration of that CT economy. They're in a much better position already. They do have to rebuy for Schneider, but that's not too big of a deal. Now, however, we do have FlipSid back up the guns again, and this does include the op going back over towards a world at its hands. Maybe we can see that big impact coming in from him, and maybe we can see another round for FlipSid, but if not, that's where we get into that sort of dangerous situation, because now it's like, okay, now you're really struggling to make any sort of impact whatsoever, just closing out those rounds. You're getting close, you just can't actually finish them. So with that said, that's going to be I imagine that'll start to be a bit of a mental block for the side of the T's.
Yep, Molotov going to be forcing Alf back out of position, so he's not going to have that initial early frag like he so wished for. Another thing that's actually quite Pronax-esque is actually not picking up the AWP on Inferno at all. Like, you would see, like, yeah, JW might go for some sort of YOLO plays, but a lot of the time he'd stick with a rifle. But nevertheless, Pronax is going to be finding the entry kill, or the first kill, yet again into this one. Schneider going to be backing him up. We'll find another in the meantime. So already not looking good with this initial buy. And well did it, one of the players who is fragging for this team is down and out already. So it's going to be down to somebody else. Blade, I think, is yet to get on the scoreboard. And well, yeah, Shara not doing too well, and neither is Markelov. So one of those players needs to step up in this scenario. Otherwise, GODSENT could be up for another, well, pretty clean round.
Now just trying to take them down. Schneider taking his time to kill a chicken, make sure that doesn't get in his way. We've seen that happen once before.
Yeah, especially with AWPs, it can be a hell of a lot worse.
Very important part of the math. Make sure you get rid of those pestery chickens.
Well, do you know about the thing where you click E on them now?
I do, actually.
That's beautiful. That's the great, and it tells you when they die as well. But nevertheless, Shara will find himself an entry. He is also tagged very, very low, and so is Markelov. So at the moment, it's not looking good. Lekra going to make himself a sweet $900. Pretty much paying for that mag if he gets one more. And the thing is, with him just sitting back here by truck, he's like just buying time. So like now that rotation comes in and he's able to shut things down. He didn't really have to work with that shotgun, because had he gotten into an actual tool with that shotty from that range, probably would have lost it unless he was really on point with his aim. But all he did was sit there. It was sort of like an opposing force, and bought time for the rotation to roll back in and shut down those final 2 players from the side of FlipSid. So with that said, we will see another one stacked up for the CTs here, and they will continue their conquest forward. You know what would be like, I know this is like completely off topic, but we're on an eco round, so probably not anything really interesting going to happen here anyway. It would be like next level if you could use those chickens, because it does tell you when you kill them, when you like have them follow you. If you could like glitch them to get stuck on terrain, and then like enemies killed them, they're like alarm systems. Like trip mines, basically. So it's like they walk through.
You'd have to like find spots where they would like get stuck in corners and wouldn't move.
They like walk through it, and like like the trip mines, and it would be like, oh.
And if like someone's trying to hide in a corner and the chicken's there, he just kills it. It's like, oh, is there someone there?
I feel like that would be some next level mind games. It's like, how did you know I was there?
Definitely, definitely would be like, definitely probably impossible, but if the game was glitchy enough. I know the chickens do get stuck in walls sometimes, but
if only you killed them when you like stepped on them, then it would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
that would be ideal.
That would be dumb at that point.
Trip mine chickens, but anyway, we have seen attack already coming in on to Palf, so there is an opportunity here for them to do something. It does look like they're just going to go aggressive towards this side of a Prona. It's going to be going for the peak. He's already going to spot one. Still no rotation actually coming in, so it is just going to be those 2 players on spot here. Another nade going to be thrown out, but the smoke actually closes it down. However, Pronax will peek out and find another kill. However, 3 and 11 HP on this side at the moment. They are actually going to be rotating away with the bomb as well, though, so Although they did so much initial damage, they're going to be pushing into the players with full HP, so it looks like maybe keeping those players on the site has worked out for them. However, it will be Lekro only going to find one. Blade will manage to trade. 25 seconds left on the clock again. This is sort of some Na'Vi-esque style play coming out from FlipSid, leaving things very, very late into the round, and they've been punished already in this game. Schneider again finds 2 kills, doing great work so far. Blade going to be the last one left, and he gets taken down again. This time, he does get on the board, though.
And also still 4 left alive from GODSENT, so the actual way that they're winning these rounds is getting much more stable for the CTs as they start to build up their bank once more. About 9K about on both Palth and Pronax here now. A couple more of the guys that are sort of fronting the action are obviously still trying to struggle to build up their own side, but with 9K sitting on either of those guys, it's going to be good to start to build up
and both of them 14 HP combined in the last round, so they really could have been taken down. And here we go. Twist actually does pick up the AWP. He is a bit of a JW-esque style player, but not this time. He's going to get taken down. WorldEdit will take that initial frag, punishing the player for peeking mid, and well, we may not see that AWP again after that. That is, again, something that JW does. It's just, okay, it didn't work this time. I'll just go back to my rifle where I was trashing you. But this time, it is going to be a 4 versus 5. Finally, we see an entry kill again. We've already seen this happen, and previously it has not paid off for FlipSid. We're going to be seeing Lekro over towards the pit area. Molotov's going to be thrown out. He's going to find a nice tag, and Schneider again finding 2 kills. He's been very, very good so far. Pronax actually going to push in and drop the bomb, and now it's going to be all down to Waylander.
Waylander moving out, should be able to catch Pronax off guard, so he grabs that kill at the very least, but he's still got 2 more to go. He's picked at the bomb, and he's just going to run his way over to that B bomb site. No one's really going to spot this, but I think they get the read on it as Palth now starts to rotate over pretty quickly to B. It's going to be a race to the site. I think Waylander will end up winning it here, but Palth has the nades to try and hold him back for a little bit longer. And also Waylander exercising a little bit of restraint as he gets close to the site. Doesn't want to push directly in. He does give Palth the time to get himself up on top of Spools, but look at Waylander. He's being creative about this, moving his way through construction, going to try to flank against Palth, and it looks like it might succeed right now, but he's starting to investigate it. He's in midair, gets some damage though, and actually none connecting from Waylander himself. He is still able to execute him though, and now this is down to a 1 versus 1. Both players are extremely low. 24 seconds left. Waylander's going to want to get that bomb on the ground. He'll succeed in doing so, but he's giving Lekro a lot of room to work with.
Oh, what? He actually goes for the straight up peek and just instantly headshots. There we go, Waylander. He only had 1 kill so far in this game, then gets 4 kills in 1 round. Maybe the sleeper has awakened the Ukrainian. Well, no, not the Ukrainian. He's in the Ukrainian team. He's not Ukrainian, the Finnish beast. But well, it didn't really sound as good when I had to build up to it so much. But anyway, he does find a quad kill. He makes an impact in this round. And finally, a little bit of damage is going to be done to that CT economy, but they still have plenty of nades to play with.
Twist will be the point man now for the mid-choke point push. Also Lekro playing himself a little bit forward there too, but just to molly things off and hold back an initial rush that could come out from FlipSid. It did look like that a couple of guys did want to move pretty quickly inside of those apartments, but not going to be happening here. They're held back for a little bit longer, and Lekro though, because of all that pressure that is building up inside, is going to give them some room to work with as he falls back inside of the pit to defend there instead.
Yeah, straight away on the other side, we're going to see the Lurker of WorldEdit taken down. The AWP is going to have absolutely no impact in this round. Well, that's problematic because he has been finding entry kills so far. He even found it in the last round, even when Waylander just went ham and found 4 kills. But nevertheless, they're going to need something along that level again. Maybe not from Waylander, but someone else has to step up in this scenario. Still down the bottom will be Blade. Obviously, he is the in-game leader, so hoping maybe Shara or someone like that. We haven't seen much of him, and actually, as I say it, curse of the commentator, he gets taken down by Lekro, so it's going to be a 5 versus 3 now. Obviously, the economy not going to be good for FlipSid if they do lose this one after just winning 1 round, and Twist finds Blade through the smoke. Another kill for Lekro, and a completely clean round after losing 1 is going to trash FlipSid's economy.
Resetting it entirely now. Enough to go for like a pistol round for us if they want to try and do that, or at least upgrade some of their pistols, but for the most part, would not be too wise to do so. But they have already done this a couple times before in this half. Economy was in a little bit of a better position, so this time we're probably not going to see it. Just going to be upgrading those pistols as mentioned previously, rounding them out around the 2K margin. They only have to go for this single save. They can still probably go for a pretty decent buy on round number 11.
Bit of damage coming in onto Twist. Not having too much luck as of yet. As you can see, he didn't go back to the AWP, but Shara straight down mid, catching Lekro off guard. No flashbang, no nothing. Just finds the headshot. They are going to be swarming on, and now Twist, 28 HP, and he's going to be one of the only players, in fact, the only player on this side at the moment. However, they're taking their time a little bit, and it's again one of those situations where they may just take a little bit too long. And in fact, Pronex with the flank, he will find a couple. We do see Blade finding one with the AK. World Edit getting tagged as well. Schneider, perfect position to catch off the rotation. However, World Edit with the head shot is absolutely lovely. And now 2 versus 2, HP very, very low. A lot of damage done with these pistols, but we've seen them do damage before, and damage is not enough. They need to try and take this one.
It's a race over to the B bomb site again. Powell could toss the nade on the floor, the Molotov, I should say, to be able to shut them down if they want to try to stop them from even getting into the site. That's not going to be happening, though, as they didn't want to confirm they were actually rotating over towards that site to begin with. They confirm it. Molotov is tossed out to stop Powell from pushing up. Not really going to work out too well, however. And Powell does slowly start to sneak his way in. At the same time, Twist is looking for an avenue into this site, but he's been heavily injured. And he's going to have to try and find World Edit, who so far has been extremely on point with the kills this game, and he's going to be able to grab another one right there, shutting out Twist. It leaves this all into the hands of Palp, but Palp has got a good read on the situation, moves in, finds the first kill, can smoke things off back around the corner. He's just going to stick this, but World Edit is going to be able to get himself into position just before that smoke ends up pluming out, finds him, and takes him down. So there will be another one coming up onto the board for FlipSid.
Yeah. Big round coming out from them. They really didn't invest much at all, and that's actually going to really hurt the CT economy. Another round where you kind of think they should have won. Shower running up mid with the entry kill really did start things off with a bang, and then they were just able to push their way around and go over towards that B site in the end. But nice round coming out from them. They managed to save their economy without having to go for any sort of eco. It could have even been a double if they weren't careful in that round, but nevertheless, we now see World Edit back on the AWP. Letcrow is forced back onto the mag, and actually we see the ult back onto Twist once more.
Markelov looking for a way to push himself up over here towards the ramp, and he's going to find his way up here. Pop Flash is going back out, but not going to be able to connect anything onto that CT, just as you had. It's Lekro that's holding up close, and he's got the shotgun. Some damage going off, bringing him down to 27, and Markelov emptying his entire clip on the meantime, as he doesn't manage to take down Waylander, who tried to push his way back in through the window. That doesn't end up going so well, as Lekro finds that kill, and it ends up being evenly traded down to a 4-on-4.
Yeah, and that's not too bad a trade so far for the CT side, although it is one of their rifles that has gone down initially. The flash comes out, doesn't pay off. Blade finds Pronex. World Edit finds Palf in the meantime, and actually this has quickly turned from not a bad situation to a pretty terrible one. Letcrow, well, they now know he has that mag. Surely they can just read this well enough to take him down. He's low on HP, and well, unless Twist can pull off something absolutely ridiculous with the ult, there's nothing I think they can do, especially now that the rotation has come in. Smart play coming out from FlipSid, and actually now they're getting themselves toward 4 rounds on the board. It's not a bad position for them on Inferno.
No, not whatsoever, especially if they can keep this consistent too, because coming off of this round's victory, they should be able to break the economy of GODSENT, although this could be a good pickup from Twist if he can find that peak. Doesn't look like he's going to be graced with it, however. And maybe GODSENT not even going to attempt to go for the retake here, just giving themselves up, falling away from it now. And they will be trying to save these guns for the next round since their own economy has sort of been broken. It was very fragile at the beginning because of how close these rounds were. They had a bit of a hot streak, but it's not really going to be enough to last them for very long. Only ends up being about 2 rounds straight for FlipSid, along with the one they picked up a few rounds before that.
Well, it's definitely interesting, the fact that you look at the statistics, or we looked at the statistics beforehand, and it was so in favor of GODSENT. The map, I just felt everything was in their favor, but to be honest, it's looked very, very shaky. A lot of the rounds even that they've won haven't been like, oh yeah, that was nice and easy, comfortable round, and then they ended up losing to a pistol round that completely destroyed their economy. And well, if they now lose this round, they're going to be in some real trouble. It could be going 6 rounds plus for FlipSid on the T side.
So with that said, FlipSid finally finding a way to bounce back into this game. Now it's about keeping it consistent, chaining multiple together, bounce back the scoreline to keep this close as they head into the second half. Or even if they get like 6 rounds total, it's still not going to be a bad half at all for the T side.
However, we are going to see a little bit of aggression from Pronex. He's the one taking the skimp in this scenario. Everybody else with rifles, and Orb still on Twist, which was saved from the previous round. So not the worst buy in the world. However, they are using those deep smokes to try and hold them, try and push them onto the A site. However, a lot of players could read that this means there may only be 1 player there. So it is going to be interesting to see what FlipSid actually do. But at the moment, it does seem like they may be taking the bait and pushing towards that A site. Good to see Blade pushing away just to have a little look. No nades left except a flash on Pronex, so not a huge amount they can do. Letco could try and throw a long-range flash over, and we're actually going to see a little bit of initial damage onto Twist. We're going to see Schneider saving his buddy, finding the initial kill, and that will put the advantage back with GODSENT after, well, only a pistol being on Pronax.
Now, though, the guys from FlipSid do start to round their way over here towards the B-bomb site where they only have Pronax to defend things, and he's only got that little CZ too, so this would have to be a big hold from him. But again, the reads come out, and we have rotations coming over very quick. That's a great shot from Twist, as I think that smoke is covering the whole approach, so that's going to be a free one picked up here. Pronax gets some great damage in there. Shara and World it down very low, and Palf just comes in for the closer. It's all on Markelov in the 1v3, trying to hide himself down below the grill. Succeeds in keeping himself alive for now, but he's been brought down to 72 HP, trying to lurk his way over towards the bomb, but it's not going to pay off. Palf eliminates him, and GODSENT will strike back, giving themselves an 8th round, and the FlipSid only with a 4th.
Yeah, actually nice work there from Pronax, considering he has CZ. He buys his team a lot of time and also actually does a huge tag onto both of those players with that CZ and just really gives Palf a nice couple of clean-up kills. Twist also finding one through the smoke, which was, well, just a little bit lucky, a little bit ridiculous, but nevertheless, it is going to be the force buy coming in. We've seen them do much more with much less, but, well, it's sort of, we were talking about a minute ago, it could have been sort of 6, maybe even 7 rounds. Now, if they do get reset here, we could be going straight back to a point where GODSENT are going to be very happy with the half, and straight away we're seeing Twist go aggressive. He's actually going to re-peek there, spot out the bomb as well.
And with that going down, Twist is just going to try to hold this. The smoke's gone out. The T's are going to throw one of their own here. He's going to try to go for the timing shot, maybe, but
nice.
A little B-hop action coming into there. Never actually seeing the shot from Twist, so he's just firing off, almost connecting another one too, as we did see someone jumping past the flower pot at Crossroads, but Twist will have to ultimately give up this aggressive pursuit and fall back to the site now, as they have managed to successfully retrieve that. Damage has been done, though, and there's no reason to be upset about not finding a second kill.
And I think Blade was actually one of the pistol players as well, so it's not the end of the world for the FlipSid. They still have 3 rifles in play. It's going to be down to the remaining players to try and find a play. We've seen Waylander, we've seen World Edit have some night work in this round. We've seen Shower also get a couple of entry kills as well. However, pushing into this orb of Twist, they need to flash in here. Surely they have someone setting up a flash to give Shower a chance to find this kill. However, they're going for the re-pick. Nevertheless, Twist is going to find that kill, flash himself back, and he has support as well from Palf. Smoke going to be thrown in. And now, actually, we're going to see aggression for World Edit. Palf just gets a free kill and the bomb as well. And this is going to be absolutely horrible now. Waylander going to be trying to do some magic. We've seen him do something in previous rounds, but flawless from GODSENT. And I feel like World Edit there, he was so intent on getting that punish, they actually just threw away the round.
As soon as we saw that first kill coming out in the favor of GODSENT, it just seemed like from that point forward, FlipSid were extremely disorganized, and that followed through all the way to the B hit itself. Someone was supposed to be lurking at A to draw the attention. That never really happened because of his slow pace sort of hit. Maybe he was supposed to be a later entry that worked his way in through arches and then grouped up on the B-bomb site, but the B-bomb site itself was just such a disorganized mess that never really came into fruition. And with that one, GODSENT will be right back into their dominating stance, but they're trying to get a little bit over-aggressive this time. The trades come out. It's 3 for 3, down to a 2v2 already, but at the very least, GODSENT have managed to sort of box the remaining players on FlipSid out of getting any site control.
Yeah, this seems like a little bit too much for me coming out from GODSENT. They're playing up against pistols. Something you don't really want to do against pistols is just sort of push straight into them. I get the sort of, I want to just crush you and almost ruin your confidence sort of style, but they lost 3 players there to a very lackluster buy.
Going into the last round, though, that shouldn't really matter all that much. They don't allow anybody to save. They've even got a double upset up here. That was like the tilt round. That's what that one was. Let's just go in. Let's really piss them off, and I think they succeeded quite nicely in doing that.
Well, let's see, because I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I want to see an angry World Edit. He's already doing relatively well so far. I wasn't sure how he would perform with the AWP on Inferno, but he is doing pretty well so far. They're going to need him to do it one more time, especially now that Schneider has actually found that entry kill into the round and he finds himself a second. He is doing very well. Shower actually going to straight disconnect from the serve. Obviously, he was dead anyway, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference. And actually, Schneider's just going to straight throw that AWP. Looks like he's going to be going back and possibly picking up a rifle in the spawn.
Looks like... No?
I think that's the second time we've just seen a player without a gun today. Just really weird scenarios.
There are some perks of not having an observer, and this is one of them. We get to watch embarrassing moments like this, and in its entirety as well. Twist is going to be taken down by Markelov, but still only 2 left alive on the side of FlipSid here. And they will try to bounce this back into their favor. They brought it into a 2-on-4, but they have no map control. They've used most of their utility. They got 2 smokes and a single flash to get onto a site. So this is going to be rough, to say the least, if FlipSid won't have any hope of finding a 5th.
Well, this is where you really need that god tier Markelov to come about. It hasn't been seen for quite a while, if I'm honest, and they really do need it now because they're going to be probably 11-4 going into the second half. The problem with maps like this that are so one-sided, you can actually see problems where the pistol is won and then things just fall apart and it looks like an absolute ridiculous scoreline, even though it could have actually gone either way on occasions. Like, there were points in this where I feel like FlipSid could have got 6, maybe 7 rounds, but that's a nice tag coming out from Wild Edit. Going to do a bit of damage, but Lekro still standing, pushes in. Actually, Markelov finds one with the AWP as well. However, it is going to be down to Wild Edit. Wouldn't want anybody else in the clutch at the moment. He is the one hitting all the shots. He's going to be pushing in. He's got little time. He's going to have to go for the bomb plant. And here we go. Push comes in. The nade thrown out. It's not actually going to stop the bomb. So here we go. Wild Edit. 1 versus 2. Going to be waiting for the push. And nevertheless, Balf just takes his head clean off. And that is it. 11-4 half. And it could have been so much closer.
I mean, we saw a spark of light from the side of from FlipSid. I always say from the side of FlipSid. It's like, it doesn't sound right. Anyway, we saw like a spark of light coming out from FlipSid there at one point in the half where they finally started to change some rounds together. It was just, unfortunately, directly after that, the guys on GODSENT went right back to crushing it, and we never ever saw a recovery again. So they found a weakness. The guys on GODSENT did patch that up pretty quickly, however, and from that point forward, it was their dominating stance on the CT side. They now lead things 11-4 heading onto their own T side half, and similarly to the last map, if they win the pistol in the first couple of rounds, they only really realistically need to pick up 1 or 2 gun rounds at the most to close out this map and this set, sending the guys on FlipSid to the lower bracket.
Well, to be honest, like we were talking about the fact of a weakness, I think their weakness was Wild Edit. Like, on occasion, he's 16-13 currently, second most frags in the whole server, and it's just, well, you look, Waylander had, of course, 1 ridiculous round. He has a second MVP. I think that was probably for planting the bomb in that first round, but apart from that, we haven't really seen too much from them, and now, well, we're going to be seeing the pistol coming in, a huge amount of utility coming out for GODSENT at this point. Only a couple of players with Kevlar, but actually a similar scenario, Markelov and Blade with the utility for the CTs, so it's going to be a lot thrown into this round, literally, and we'll see whether or not GODSENT can actually take this pistol or whether FlipSid will be able to get off to the start they desperately need if they want to stay in this upper bracket.
The GODSENT just grouping up at the mid choke point now. Quick push through that. Twist is going to be flashed, but he's just hopping his way through that. But there's a deck kill that comes out from Waylander. He's going to line him up there. Picks up one, looking for a second, and he'll find it. He is taken down by Schneider, and then Powell finds another pick up there too. Limiting both Waylander and Blade. They cleared the site out partially, but rotations are on their way very quickly. Schneider's going to drop himself inside of the pit, but looking to reposition back by the graveyard. Gets himself up on top of the pole, taking down World at it, and that immediately tilts the scales in the favor of GODSENT. They're going to try to find a way back in, but Schneider still out there, still fragging, still putting some damage out. As he's brought Shara down a little bit, forced him back behind the corner there, and the porch push is now coming in too, but they've spotted it. Shara holds his own for now, though. He picks up that first kill, and it's even again. Nade's going to be tossed over in the direction of Schneider, bringing him down a little bit lower, but Palp's still alive, up on the site. Palp's the first target as the porch push coming back in there, and Shara finds that frag. Now it's all on Schneider, and he's going to be overwhelmed very quickly. Needs to pick up at least one of these kills. Going to try to hold things off. Has to go for the reload, though, so jumping around, they're pushing him, and it'll be Shara that takes him down. He wasted a lot of time, however, and Shara's got the kit in hand. It's going to be close, but I think he should be able to just grab the defuse.
Just. So a little bit more time needed to be burned. However, the bomb's gone down. We have seen GODSENT go for some ridiculous forces in the past. I'm not sure if they'd go for this one, but nevertheless, they will be coming straight back in with the AKs in the next round either way. So it's going to be difficult for FlipSid. However, that was a crucial round. We said it straight off the bat. If they didn't win that round, it could be good as done. However, we are going to see Schneider going with the Deeg. We've seen some nice damage come in from this team with Deegs in the past, especially well during their online saga and while they were playing at Malmo. They were absolutely ridiculous with the Deegs. Obviously, this is map number 2. This is the pick of GODSENT, and they are now just going to be going pretty much for a little bit, well, just one Deeg, nothing else. And to be honest, I would actually rather they went for a couple of flashbangs or something along that line, just because there's more chance of them getting a frag rather than just individual talent. But we'll see whether or not Schneider can make those plays. He's been great so far.
Here's the thing, though, with GODSENT right now, is that like they have that 11-4 lead, which is great, but if they let FlipSid start themselves off well here with the first 3 rounds, and then we don't see their first gun round going in their favor, that's like immediately FlipSid being back into this game and being up at a close scoreline. So we need to make sure that they can turn the scales very quickly, and that's not going to be a bad start, as Pronax does find that first pickup on a Blade.
Timing as well. That was so unlucky for Blade. He goes pushing in, and straight away we're actually going to see that dropped over to Twist, so Pronax just happy to stay with the Glock, but not going to be doing too much as of yet. They are building up over towards the B site. A rotation is yet to have come in, but this could just be one massive fake because the bomb is yet to really move anywhere. It's still sat at the bottom of mid. It could go A, it could go B. Obviously the nades do slightly favor the CT side, although they don't have too much. Shara will find one. We're going to be seeing this push coming in, and the bomb actually does follow up. So here we go. It's going to come down to this B site. It's going to come down to the CTs. Obviously, they have the better buy. Twist does have a rifle, but one shot on him, and his aim will go flying to the sky. But the push is going to come in. Shara, he needs to find something here. The flashbang pops out. Markelov finds two. Twist will find one. Twist will find another, and actually, that's going to be the bomb down. Perfect stuff.
Moving in, and Twist still has the rifle in hand too. The big thing that's working against him is the fact that he has no armor, so needs to look for angle advantages on these duels, but he is being pushed by both CT along with Banana, and he's not even going to get the chance to take on the Banana player as Waylander just finds the headshot from long range, eliminates Twist, and FlipSid will still pick up the round, bringing things to 6-11, but not a bad round at all, considering that was essentially zero investment from GODSENT.
Well, that was a Deagle, and well, then the Glock initially got a kill that got them a FAMAS, and they managed to get a bomb plant. Their money's going to be through the roof. They're going to have any utility they want, and well, I have to say, I have seen some very, very poor T-sides coming out from GODSENT in the past on CT maps, such as Train. I've seen them make huge mistakes previously. Not so much on LAN, though, and this is where, well, Twist is going to be going with the AWP. We do see World Edit on the other side, but both teams have put pretty much everything into this round. I feel like even the CT side, I'm not sure what their money's set at right now. It must be, yeah, not great either. It's only going to be World Edit with anything left, so whoever wins this round will probably take the next carpool, but a missed shot from Twist means World Edit will be finding that first kill once again. But Schneider going to be picking that up back up and going for the repeat. Not going to quite find it nonetheless, but again, advantage CT.
And the CTs now, it's actually still remaining fairly aggressive with their positioning, not really like they're falling back to the site or anything such as that. It's going to be on GODSENT to try and turn the scales back into their favor here now, as they did allow FlipSid to get that good start there due to the members of GODSENT and pushing pretty aggressively up directly through middle, instead of pushing through alt mid and then looking for a better way to push themselves through the mid choke point. So if Schneider tries to make his way out of Boiler, especially if he doesn't use any utility to do so, is going to be met immediately by World Edit, who's sitting on the other side just outside of the cubby right now, waiting for more of a push to come from this direction. He's even going to smoke off the choke just to give himself a little bit more room to prepare for a bit of a peek.
Yeah, this is going to be a very difficult pick. Nevertheless, he will, of course, need someone to help him out in this scenario. They do seem pretty set on this A site. There is, of course, 40 seconds left. They could just go for a bait and switch, but I don't see it coming, and they're just going to try and work these picks, I reckon. And 30 seconds left on the clock is going to have to come in soon. It does look like Electro's a little bit hesitant. That is the Molotov pushing him back. Still utility on that CT side, but here we go. They burn out all the smokes. They burn out all the Molotovs. Only flashes left, and this is going to be it. The push is going to be late. The push is going to go fast, and it's going to be down to the player in pit, and straight away we're going to see Waylander finding a kill. Another player close up will be World Edit. He finds one. Quick cleanup. World Edit finding another. Schneider's going to find one as a constellation, but that's going to be it. And a wonderful hold coming out from FlipSid, and that is that buy round that you mentioned previously.
Yep, and Schneider now on the run. Looking to see if he makes it past the timer, but does he actually survive to the round's end here too? Going up to the flower pot, someone was coming up behind him on the flank, but thankfully the round does expire before then, so he's not going to have anything else besides what he has here. He only survives with 250, and obviously not being able to get any bonus money by surviving as a T past the timer. But for the rest of these guys, just going to be going for the Tech 9 buy, as that buy round did not work out in the way they expected.
Well, I think this is just sort of a fact to balance out their money once more and have them all on the same page, because otherwise in the next round it would just be rifles with a Tech 9 on Schneider anyway, so they may as well just go for something here, try and make a big play. It is just going to be nades galore trying to push out positions, and well, I imagine this would be a B hit just because of the way that they can get so close and personal with these nades. We do have one player, Pronax, currently holding over to the opposing side. Of course, he was a great entry fragger on Cobblestone. Whether he can do the same again, I'm not so sure. It's much more difficult on this map to get up close with these players, especially with all the utility on the CT side at the moment. And that's the thing. They've got off to a great start, and something that really wasn't there so much for GODSENT was they have quite a bit of money saved up, and a fairly clean round came in last round.
It'll all be about keeping things in check, however, as GODSENT are going to go for essentially an all-in push. The only one that's not here with them getting ready to move into that B-bomb site is going to be Pronax, as he's just making some noise close to A to keep those players over towards that site. It's still 3 men here on B, though, which will be a little bit dangerous for GODSENT when you consider the fact that they only have those Tech 9s, but it'll be a fairly close-range encounter, and that's where those Tech 9s can really come out to shine, especially if they can force some of the players a little bit further away from the B-bomb site itself. Open season coming out with the spray initially, but it does look like they are thinking about moving away from this now, as also Schneider has moved closer to the A site with the op in hand too.
Yeah, they're leaving this very, very late once more. And I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this. It does look like they pushed that AWP over to the other side to possibly like really sell the fake by just putting that one weapon to use. But here we go. Molotov's going to be bounced in. The push is just going to come thick and fast. And here we go. Molotov going to be thrown into the back. Markov going to find the initial. Shara going to find another. And now, well, the bomb's not going down. There's no way the bomb's going down. We will see Blade kill himself. Schneider again will find an exit frag and just going to save that AWP once more. But with the bomb not going down, it's just going to be him with nothing yet again.
So the late executions from GODSENT definitely not paying off in the way that they would intend to. They do manage to keep the op in place still, but the money is extremely uneven now with Pronax at $300. Might have actually been better for him to go down there.
Yeah.
But I think their team is just going to invest in the same way, which is... This is definitely becoming a problem here now. Is that, yeah, that's great. They keep getting these like Tech 9 buys at the very least, but if they're not impacting with them, that's only inching the score line closer and closer for FlipSid.
Well, and also here we're going to see Pronax actually drop an AK from Palf, so they're investing a lot in Pronax, and Palf is going to have next to nothing, not even have any armor in this scenario, so it's going to be a very difficult one for them. I'm not sure whether I agree with this, and the fact that Schneider hasn't actually been able to find an entry pick because nobody's been really peeking off the world that it had that one AWP round where he did take down Twist. It just hasn't really been peeking anymore. It's just like, okay, well, I'll just play this passive role. I'll play a role that many AWPers on this map do play, such as Kenny used to just hold this angle all the time. Every once in a while, you rotate over to Bananas to just throw people off. But this is the main AWP position. And, well, so far, they haven't been able to do anything about it. Obviously, last time they went towards B. Now it looks like they are gathering up towards A once more. So if they don't start making an impact soon, FlipSid really could start to run away with this one. This is a lot closer than I thought it would be after the first map. Well did it. Going to be finding that first kill. Cover from Blade. Going to do nice work and just cleaning things up. Blade with the triple spray. Coming alive, and World Edit will just help him out at the end. All 5 players survive. Money on FlipSid is going to be booming.
The choke becomes a mid-gauntlet, as we do see things executed pretty quickly from that rap side. So GODSENT finally going to have to take a round where, okay, we just need to even out our money here. Still going to be a Tech 9 round, of course, but it'll be a Tech 9 round as they finally stacked with a full losing bonus, where we can hopefully see them get some sense back into this, as after this one, we will definitely be seeing a full buy, regardless if they get a plan or not.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that they've now, with all these force buys, they've just, like you said, allowed FlipSid to get back into the game. They're now, well, only 2 rounds behind on the favoured side, the heavily favoured side of this map. And although they don't have a particularly good record doesn't mean anything in this, well, one map. It seems that FlipSid may just have their number unless GODSENT can really show some sort of prowess in the next few rounds, because we see nothing on their T side so far.
And challenging what could be the GODSENT push back towards Banana is going to be Shar. The problem is, though, is it's just him. He doesn't even execute anybody on the initial peak, so Twist is going to be able to take him down, and he was the lone defender of this B-bomb site. Markelov was pushed back closer to CT. He's going to be caught out there by a flashbang, and he catches the corner, I think, on the way to wrap back over. So a bit of a string of unfortunate events leaves GODSENT with a big advantage here at the beginning of round number 21. It'll be up to FlipSid to bounce this back, but it's 3-on-5, and they have no intel in terms of what's on that site waiting for them.
I could almost hear that like big opera singer guy going, "Mistake," just straight away from Shara, because he just pushed straight down, ended up with 5 players just looking at him just like, what are you doing here? And just taking him down, easy kill. Markelov gets flashed. And, well, that's what the deep smoke is sort of for, to hold players back. But the problem is not everybody's going to just abide by those laws. They just push straight through. It's not a brick wall. And they find themselves a nice, easy kill. And they've actually just gone on the hunt here, even with these Tech 9s, even with their economy in a horrible state. They're still going to go for this aggression just to try and take down as many weapons as they can and force FlipSid to actually rebuy a few. And Palf, he's still going, even at the depths of the round, and he will actually drop.
They were going to be on a buy in this round regardless, so they can sort of afford to rush out there. I mean, it's going to cost them like a long-term economy game, but in the short-term game here too, if they can drop the guns off the CTs and force them to rebuy, that's going to allow them to take back their lead, which they lost in these early rounds much quicker. And that's what they sort of accomplished here, because now by dropping those like 2 or 3 players at the by driving, I think it was 2, that they managed to drop there after they actually managed to get themselves onto the site. Then they've already forced the money on the CT side down extremely low. There's not a whole lot left. The only one that's really going to be sitting pretty for the next round will be Waylander and Shara to a certain degree. And even Shara may be forcing it a little bit.
Well, because of course, if they do lose this round, it will only be 1900 going into the bank, which isn't ideal by any stretch of the imagination. But nevertheless, it's only 1 round lost. We're still back on the bye. It was a bit of a mistake coming out from Shara. I'm sure he's going to try and rectify those mistakes just by playing a little bit more passive. You can already see the hold. They haven't even gone anywhere near Banana. They're just sat right in the site. And to be honest, it's been working for them, so I don't see why they'd change anything along those lines. But we are going to see the T's now with the majority of the utility. Going to go towards this A site yet again. It's going to be World Edit with that AWP holding back. An initial kill will come in for Blade. although he does get tagged quite a bit here. Well did it. Both going to be flash. Twist not going to be able to find that kill. And actually the rotation comes in very, very quickly. Markelov going to find another tag onto Palf, so a lot of damage being done. But in the meantime, Wayland has gone down. Push going to be coming in. Well did it manages to find one up close, but it is going to be a 3 versus 2 now. And this could be it. The CT side, they really need to make some sort of play in this round. Markelov going to start things off with 1 kill into the retake, but it's back to a 2 versus 2.
And now they're stuck outside the site too. The smoke blocks off library retake. They're going to have one smoke of their own here, but look at Schneider pushing through, and Shara, he's still got that smoke in hand. Switching over to the rifle now, but I don't really think Schneider's investigating in the right area, so he's just going to hide inside of the cubby instead, wait for that smoke to fade, and hope he can catch Shara on the off angle once that does start to fade away. You can see the shots coming in, but all he does is give away his position, so that's going to net them a kill, and now everything falls into the hands of Lekro, who is already being flanked back over there by Torch side. Nicely done. There's going to be the first peek coming out, and he turns it around and finishes off the second one, so Lekro, with a 2v1 clutch, will give GODSENT their 13th round.
Well, he went absolutely massive in that first map. He's been a bit quieter here, but when he's needed, 2 versus 1, easy peasy. First he hits the headshot, then he takes down the remaining player as well. And now, well, the CT money... player as well. And now, well, the CT money, it's not terrible, but they're still going to just go for some pistols. Wayland are actually going for a Zeus in this scenario, which, well, it doesn't actually earn him any cash if he does get that kill, but it is entertaining nevertheless, and it drops a huge amount of economy, of course. But we are going to be seeing now just pistols. This is the chance for GODSENT to get onto their 14th round. Well, we have Zeus the player.
He's going to go out to your amp and try to get someone that's hiding out around the corner, I imagine. If they push through mid-choke, that's going to be his goal, and he might get someone too. Because
I hope he bunny hops.
That's exactly what he would need to do. Because if he just walks right up, they're going to hear him coming from a mile away. So he's got the lineup for this. It's all about the timing now. And there's Palf.
Palf. It's almost as if he senses something's wrong. I can sense that I may be about to die in a horrible fashion. Let's just watch this corner in case. But remaining players, we do of course have Markelov on the Deeg, Shara on the 5.7, which close range can be deadly. Same with the P250 on World Edit. So there's still the potential. We've seen them do some great work as well with these pistols already, especially on that T side, winning some rounds that they definitely shouldn't have won. But the buy is, of course, in favor of the T side. They're taking things very, very slowly at the moment. 45 seconds left on the clock. Not really making any sort of movement as of yet. They are now pushing their way around Arch side. And actually, they could get in behind Blade, and well, this is just looking horrific. There is one player that's going to be Wild Edit pushing in towards the library area, but well, I'm not sure we're going to be able to see any Zeus prowess unless he can get in behind here. And in fact, he's actually going to go with a pistol and pick up an AK. So I doubt the Zeus is really going to come into play at all. Waylander looks like he may just be getting ready to retreat here. I'm not sure going for this retake is really worth it. However, very, very low. Shara actually going to drop the bomb. They've got to find this kill very, very quickly. He finds another. There's a matter of seconds left on the clock. If he just stays alive here, he could completely ruin the round. And what has just happened from GODSENT? That was one player just ruined their round with a 5-7, nothing else.
Complete miscommunication and chaos again coming out there. It didn't seem like they even realized exactly what had gone down until it was far too late to correct it. They were stuck outside, and that huge hold from Shara gives FlipSid another opportunity to remain in this game as they sit only 3 rounds behind GODSENT, and this destabilizes the T-side economy, resetting them again.
And gives a huge amount of money over to the opposing side. And also, it's one of those optimistic things when you say, yeah, they've made plays in this pistol with the pistols before. But that was just ridiculous. Again, the time plays down. We saw that happen to FlipSid. Now we're seeing it happen to GODSENT. And it's just ridiculous. There were 4 players pushing in, and we saw whoever it was with the AWP. He knew the player was there, and just for some reason decided to walk back towards the CT area. So that's going to be a horrific round coming out from GODSENT. They are going to force back up with some pistols, nevertheless. But, well, now all the economy is back with FlipSid on that CT side.
So, with GODSENT not necessarily secured with the victory anymore, they're going to have to take things extremely cautiously on this round. With the upgraded pistols, they will focus on the RAP side play. The Twist is also going to be pushing himself up banana, and it's going to be a big attempt to get themselves around the corner. They look to overwhelm things back by Arches, and they succeed, but World Edit is holding with class as he takes down 2 of those guys, and he drops the bomb before they actually get themselves safely through Arches. So it all falls to Schneider to try and bring this back now, but the problem is, even if he peeks out and grabs that kill on World Edit, there's someone that's going to be waiting for him on the site, and that's going to be Waylander.
Yeah, this should be an easily tradable position. However, Waylander will go down. It's already World Edit waiting with the pistol here, and he's just going to finish him off. 2 players dropped against some pistols, but nevertheless, FlipSid are back. on the board once again on their CT side. 2 rounds is the difference. We've seen this already, and now we are going to be seeing the force spike coming in from that T side. Tech9 alone on Powerful. However, we've seen a huge amount of damage done with that so far, but it does seem like the faster plays are the ones that actually work much, much better for GODSENT anyway, catching off World Edit, because once he's in position, he's just a cannon. It's like when Skadoodle used to play this map, and you just set him up, and it's like, Skadoodle, kill. And it's like, okay, thank you, yep, I'll do that now, that's done, easy. And then you can just go and do whatever you want, and that's what's happening here. And in fact, they're even just avoiding the A site altogether. It's like, okay, we don't want to really go there anymore. But Shower has been pretty superb on this site so far.
So Shara sitting himself behind second oranges this time, and Markelov acting as the back support. He's going to place himself over by the spools in just a moment, getting ready for another quick hit that's coming towards the B-bomb site. And if they can make this successful, if they can take down those guys easily, then it's going to be a tough rotate to get back in. But Shara holds his own for a 1-2 trade, taking down 2 before he's eliminated by Schneider. And also Markelov buying a lot of time as well. We do have some reinforcements coming back in. That's going to be World Edit along with Blade, starting to wrap their way over to the site. Waylander
nice
works his way over with that nice flash. He's going to net them a first kill here. World Edit picking up another one, as does Waylander. So it's all in the hands of Schneider in a 1-on-3. He's surrounded from all directions, going to need to get aggressive, but he messes up that first one. Good pop flash, looking for the second one, but he cannot succeed in pulling it off. So World Edit is going to be able to take him down. And now FlipSid sit within 1 round of tying things up against GODSENT.
Yeah, would have needed to ace that if he wanted to win that round. 3 kills for him, pushing in there. And it was just Shower just straight away buying them so much. He instantly finds 2 kills, and it looks like we're actually seeing a tactical pause now coming out from GODSENT. They've realized that there's some problems, and to be honest, I agree. Like, they've lost quite a few rounds to pistols. They've made silly mistakes like there. Just not able to trade the kills very easily. It was just Shower dodging around positions, able to find 2. And by that point, Markelov, he could just buy time just by throwing in a couple of flashes. He didn't even need to face. Did just that. And that's one of a main skill that I like for players, is knowing when to face and not to face. Because some players in that scenario would have just gone guns blazing, just, oh, okay, I can take them down. And that could have been the difference between a 4 versus 3 retake and a 3 versus 3.
So with GODSENT trying to figure out exactly what's been going wrong on this T side, I think you were right earlier when you mentioned that the fast strats end up working a lot better for these guys. I mean, we've seen evidence of this already when they've gone for the extremely quick takes. The big difference, I think, there is with the slow takes, FlipSid are given time to rotate. They're given time to think. I think one of the big things on this map with the T side is that if you play to a very fast type of strategy on your T side, you're not going to be even giving time to your CT opponents to rotate. That was a big issue that I discussed that GODSENT was going to be getting a benefit of because their communication and because their game sense was so good, and that Pronax was able to get the read as to what FlipSid was going to be throwing at them, that he is able to call these rotations in time so that they're not constantly locked out of the site. But now back on the T side here for GODSENT, because of how slowly they are playing the map, they're giving FlipSid that time just by default to rotate over there to make sure that these retakes are going to be a possibility instead of these quick all-in executes towards the site, which doesn't even give FlipSid the opportunity for where FlipSid would actually be able to go in and attempt the retake. If they make these quick takes and they go successfully as well, and if they can push directly in there, and assuming they are traded out by the players that are on the site initially, then they can lock the remaining members from the other side out and just basically force them to save, because it's going to be a completely impossible retake scenario.
Well, you can actually look at the fact that on this CT side already, we've seen twice that GODSENT have actually been timed out of the round, which just that alone, like, you've got all the problems of, like, yeah, the rotations and everything, but the fact is sometimes they don't even leave themselves enough time to actually plant the bomb, which it's just like that scenario shouldn't happen, especially like that Shower round. That's just going to be edged in my mind as a fact. Like, they really could have just got themselves into a great position. Instead, he finds 2 kills with a pistol, drop the bombs. There's no one to trade and plant the bomb after that, and that's the round. That's it. Everybody dies. They lose everything. And now, well, they're going to be coming back with some pistols. I think they've now lost 3 rounds in a row, so 2,900 will be coming in if they lose this round. But nevertheless, they are going to be, well, most likely giving FlipSid the all square.
And FlipSid here, a big edge for them to be gained in the fact that they are this close, and if they can take this map away, and again, they'll have another chance to keep themselves in the upper bracket to take on either Navi or Dobry Gaming in that upper bracket semi-final, which should be happening at some point tomorrow, I do believe. But to start this one off, it's pretty quick from GODSENT. Moving themselves in, going around the ramp side. They want to take Archer's control. This did not go very well for them last time. As World Edit moves in there, he's able to grab 1 kill for himself, but at a heavy damage trade-off. And in the meantime, Markelov and Blade picking up some more. Markelov still holding his own as well, finding 2 kills for himself. Now it's all up to Lekro. And again, that entry power, which we were seeing so good at the beginning of this half, has fallen off entirely now. It's falling to Lekro, but even him, we haven't really seen a whole lot of him in a while. And that is going to be the tie coming in from FlipSid.
Well, it seems that the only round I can particularly think of that he's really done something impressive was that 2 versus 1. It's been Schneider and World Edit on the opposing side that's been doing a lot, but we can actually confirm in the other game, Navi versus Dobry, is actually gone to a third map. So Na'Vi have lost Mirage. It was 16-9, and the Polish side do manage to bring things back. So maybe not as dominating a performance as was expected by the betting standards. It seems like both the games that had ridiculous odds today have not gone the way of the team. Well, significantly anyway. First Pro did manage to just about close things up, but nevertheless, we are back on the 4x4, both teams. Of course, whoever wins this round will be set to sort of go on. I feel like the CTs do have a little bit more cash to play with. Obviously, if the Ts lose this one, I think they do have max loss bonus, but that is about all they have to their name.
And Pronax shifting his way up. He'll lead the charge again for his team to get themselves over to the A-bomb site, but he's got to be careful of that player inside of the bedroom there. They are ready for him. They've spotted Waylander inside. He's going to catch it through the wall, but again, there is World, and it's a big player for FlipSid so far in this half. Picks up a kill on a Pronax and trades that out to fall back and still hold a stable position with no damage done to himself.
Yeah, he's been huge on both sides of the map. The few rounds they did manage to win were mainly off the back of huge plays coming out from him, but nevertheless, Blade will find another kill into this round. It is going to be a 3 versus 4 scenario, and GODSENT looks like things may be just about to fall apart. We saw such a phenomenal performance in the first map, and this is looking more like the GODSENT I was mentioning from the online scenario of their play, where just silly mistakes being made, running out of time, and well, here we go, 35 seconds. They are going to be making their way towards the site. One player in pit, one player actually on the site itself, and that's going to be Blade. And well, Shara just weighing to the bottom of mid. There's no real chance for a rotation anyway, but Twist is going to find the instant headshot. That's one at least. They now actually can rotate wrap round Arch, and this would leave Shara completely out in the cold. In fact, Palf may even be able to find him in this position. Not quite. Shara actually going to find that duel, but nevertheless, it should be a 2 versus 3 retake. The bomb should be comfortable to go down here, and we can already see a position from Twist that is very, very aggressive, and a nice headshot from him.
Lines that right up, but again, the guys on GODSENT end up getting that plant with just a few seconds left on the clock. That has been a continuous theme throughout this entire half. It's into a 2v2, and the remaining 2 from the CT side are actually having to rotate from very far away. This is not out of the case just as yet. They've got a nice amount of utility, and they're moving in very quick. It's going to come to Lekro to find the first kill here, and World just completely walks by the opening to construction, safely assuming that there wouldn't be anyone inside of there, but that's a big mistake that he makes. And Lekro, that's the one we wanted to see, picks up both of those final kills and closes out the round for GODSENT, just barely maintaining their lead here as they get a 14th round up onto the board.
He is still doing beautiful things when it's important. Like when they need a round, when they really, really need it. Like the 2v1 he did earlier when things were starting to balance out, he picks it up. When things are 13-all, he picks up a double kill in a 2 versus 2. I'm not quite sure. That's one of the first real mistakes I've seen from World Edit in this game, and it's at probably the worst possible time. Like not checking an angle. I understand, of course, the fact that he needed to move very, very quickly. There wasn't a huge amount of time left on the clock, but nevertheless, even just a quick look, it would have been nice to rather just see him going, nope, there's no one there, just running past. But again, we do still see the buy coming out from FlipSid. This is now 2 rounds needed for GODSENT, 3 needed for FlipSid. So either way, it's still very, very tight, and just one individual play can completely change this game, turn it on its head. So 14-13, and the push edges towards A side.
It's back to the slower style of push again, as it would seem. Early control of the apartment's being gained, and they actually force a timing shot out on World after he gets flashbang. So they should know where he's hiding out. That could also very likely be a double-up setup now coming in from FlipSid. Haven't seen that previously, so GODSENT may still be able to get the read onto this one. They're going to smoke things off. World at it though, he's still feeling confident, pushes through this. He's going to hold an even more aggressive angle against the mid-choke point. If Boiler peeks first, he is a dead man, and that is exactly what is going to happen. Palf rolls out, shuts out World at it, and they gain the man advantage pushing up to this site, leaving it on Waylander mainly, but he's going to be blind as a bat. However, alright, thankfully that doesn't end up going into a catastrophe, but we did see Waylander managed to survive that for a little bit, but Pronax takes them down as he falls down inside of the pit. The final 2 from Mark Alvanchar. These are these all-in attempts I was talking about before, though, where this happens too quickly, and the final 2 from the site are just given no time to react to this, because the actual confirmation that this is where the take is coming from comes out so late. So Pronax does a good job of making sure, and the rest of the team as well, of course, does a good job of making sure that the actual take is obscured for as long as humanly possible. And for Mark Alvanchar, they're never even really given a chance to rotate.
Well, also it seems like World Edit, like, I'm glad he's feeling confident. I'm glad he went for the peek, but it was just, there was no cover. There was nothing there that if someone did peek from Boiler, he was dead. There was nothing he could do. And unfortunately, in that scenario, pushing through that smoke, he just gave away his life. And that was the entry kill that just forced that swarm onto the site. As you can see, every single player surviving. Markelov, the only one standing. And the money going into this possibly final round is pretty abysmal. However, I'm going to say it again. We've seen them do it with less.
And we'll see if they'll be able to take this into OT, of course, with it being 15-13. It's not the end of the world yet. We've already seen GODSENT get a little bit overconfident with themselves, and that has costed them quite a few rounds.
Blade has nothing. He literally has some Kevlar and a USP. Oh no, there you go. I was about to say, I was thinking that was really, really weird. Well done, actually dropping him an M4, which I'm not even sure. I like, of course, like that even less, because Wilded has been so influential. Then again, he has been with the AWP. However, Shara is going to find that initial kill, an early peek coming in from Twist, and he's going to get taken down out of the round. We're going to see Pal find one in return. So Waylander, however, did find one in the meantime, so it is going to be a 4 versus 3 in favor of the CT side. They are slowly thinning out those weaker weapons. Only the 5-7 remains on Wilder, and at close range, that's pretty deadly in itself. So now we are going to see the T's gathering up. It looked like they went for those individual peaks again, the peaks that we sort of put them down for, saying that when they gathered up as a team, everything seemed to work wonders. But in this scenario, they didn't do it, and now they are going to gather up, but only 3 of them remain. So it's going to be down to Blade and Wild Edit over towards the site. No AWP in hand for him this time, but he does have that 5-7. And well, Shara, as you said, there's no way he's rotating in for this pick. But here we go, Blade. Decent position. Push comes in. Going to get taken down instantly. Wild Edit, he couldn't need to make a huge play here, but it looks like he's just backing out, allowing them to get the plant, but he goes for a nade. Caught out in the last few rounds. It seems like Wild Edit has just done absolutely nothing, falling off at the worst possible time when they needed him the most, and now it's going to be Markelov and Shara to try and find this retake. 2 players who have been pretty good over towards that B site, but a retake scenario against 3 players. Quite a lot of nades also on Pau for Molotov in his hands, and well, we'll see what they can actually do here. They need to find a quick entry kill if they're going to have any chance into the round. The push going to come in. We're going to see the dual peak coming out, and Schneider finish as he starts, takes down both players. A very, very close game. Could have gone either way, but nevertheless, GODSENT do prevail 2-0.
And GODSENT get themselves together at the end of the day. So with that said, they'll be moving on to take on either Dobre Gaming or Navi tomorrow. As for the guys over here on FlipSid, they'll be going to the lower bracket to face off against the loser of that other match, which is still going on the mainstream at this point in time right now. I believe that's over at twitch.tv/starladder_CS_EN. But I believe we are done for the day, ladies and gentlemen. So any additional thoughts on that match before we close things out?
Well, I think FlipSid definitely in that second match showed that they are a good team. They're definitely not a poor team. Obviously, they got off to a terrible start in their map pick, and that was really unfortunate. I feel like GODSENT would just outclass them in that scenario. On the T side, they were absolutely superb. Going on to this map, I feel like it was sort of, I don't want to put it on him because he was so superb throughout the whole map. But towards the end, you just saw Wild Edit make some silly mistakes, like running in, pushing him with an AWP. Then he pushed in with a nade to do the same thing. Just like, okay, I'm just going to stand in the open with a nade. It's silly. It's just a silly mistake, and he could have just gone for the 3v3 retake, get up close. But nevertheless, those mistakes were made. GODSENT, they deserved their way through. They were so good in the first map. And, well, guys, just make sure you check out the other stream, because we are going to be going in with Navi versus Dobre. It is going to be going to that final map of Train, and I think that looks like a very good matchup.
Yep, and we will be back tomorrow, guys. We go live from the main arena here in Kiev tomorrow, so be sure to stick around for that. And we'll catch you for more of the Starladder Invitational throughout tomorrow and the rest of this weekend right here on Twitch.